suppose the biggest release I have is the freedom. It's fantastic. And having the excitement to express yourself on a plate, matching duck with Earl Grey tea, sea urchins with turbot, langoustines, pumpkins and scallops, lobster and grapefruit on the last menu. I mean, you've got to have a sense of a serious imagination. I've got to be very careful now because everything I put on a plate has to be of a certain level. We can't have any failures now. And so we use our lunch menu as our guinea pig menu to introduce new dishes.
Hi there. Owen. Owen, I don't care how many times you have to work at this dish, but Owen. Yes, can I have some sherbet, please?
You put them on.
Go. Settle quickly.
What would a cook gain from me after 2 years? I mean, he's certainly, on an individual point of view, be very strong in character.
Service?
Finesse, control, understanding on how long to cook that cod for, feeling the texture of a young spring lamb, making a wonderful pumpkin soup, and making fantastic tortellinis and transparent raviolis. They travel around all the sections in the kitchen and actually spend time on puddings and making petit fours and making fresh bread. And you've got to understand the feel, the touch.
Yes, I don't rumble in the jungle.
I don't feel guilty, and I don't feel that I'm a seriously hard taskmaster. That's what I want, and that's what I'll get. If I don't get a response on a professional front from a cook that has made a mistake, and he looks at me as if he doesn't give a damn, then he'll go. You know, the kitchen functions around me. I don't function around the kitchen. Waiters that have come from a brasserie, I know full well within 3 or 4 days I'll probably sack them. They're working in the brasserie because they love the relaxed atmosphere. They're casual with the cooks. They walk around eating in the kitchen. Christ, I catch anyone eating. You know, I'll sack them. Eating is at 5 o'clock. I want my kitchen and the dining room emptied, and they all sat down eating dinner. So therefore there's no excuse halfway through the night stealing petit fours or eating bread rolls. I go absolutely berserk, because if I went out with Tana to the Gavroche and I was spending £150 a head, and this waiter arrived at my table and he's just finished chewing part of a bread roll, I'd be somewhat cheesed off.
Rusty, we've got to go now. I've got 5 here, I can't hold out here. 4 minutes of the past, 3 lamb, 1 venison, guys, yeah?
Later on, I'm going to be cooking one of my most interesting, and a dish, of course, that's been with me for the last 5 years, pigeon. Pigeon which has been poached and then grilled, and this has been done several ways on the menu. At the moment, it's served with a wonderful Swede puree, covered in a nice light truffle sauce. But now we're off to see Marc Bourget, one of the most sought-after suppliers in London, to find out exactly where these pigeons are coming from. There's 2 main regions in France, one being Bresse, which is the south region, southwest of Paris, about 300 miles southwest of Paris, and the second most famous region for pigeon is Agenus, which is more to the north. Both produce very succulent, excellent pigeons, quite expensive, about £4.50 to £6 each, weighing in about 450 grams each, and are absolutely delicious.
You remember that, do you?
So why the flag? Just dress it to be friends?
Because they are French and proud to be, I suppose, and finish in your kitchen.
In my kitchen. But we do have pigeons from Trafalgar Square sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, but they're underneath my wheel.
Are they from Bresse? No, they're not.
They are not. They are from Ménanjou. which is near Le Mans.
The pigeons come from Bresse.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got pigeon of Bresse. We got guinea fowl.
They have guinea fowl from Bresse now as well. That's right.
I've
They even have quail from Bresse as well.
always seen these, but
Marco is using the plant at the Bresse.
Yeah.
Chef Marco. Yeah.
They're beautiful. What are they? 600 grams bird?
Yeah, but 650 to 680 grams.
Are those birds I use?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a pigeon that has to be served pink. You don't do the bird any justice when it's well cooked. And sometimes when John Claude comes through the dining room and tells me the pigeon would like it medium, or would like the pigeon on table 5 well cooked, then I cringe and I get upset. I throw it against the wall 3 times, put it through the sink, and then I serve it. And it's so heartbreaking to believe that someone wants to eat that well cooked.
Because the meat is dark inside. It's got a lot of flavor. If you overcook it, it's not the same, isn't it?
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We first started the pigeon dish when we used to poach it first to render the fat on the outside. Then we used to grill it and serve that with a very fine sweet puree. Next we used to caramelize them with Chinese 5 spice on the skin. And at the moment they're actually poached in a set bouillon, served with little stuffed cabbage balls and vegetables, which will make a little ballantine out of the leg and serve that in the stock. Delicious. Mark was in for dinner last week celebrating his wife's birthday, and at the moment on the menu they're poached. I think that's the favourite.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely superb.
So it is kept extremely moist, it's poached in its own stock, and it's flavoured with ceps, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
The little cabbage with the foie gras.
Foie gras mousse and the cabbage, very good. Pigeon poche grille may sound slightly complicated, poached and then grilled, but no, there's obviously a reason behind for doing that. First saw this dish in Paris with Guy Savoy, where we poached the pigeon first, and the reason behind that, of course, is to render that fat content underneath the skin in order to make it more succulent, and then it's taken off the bone and grilled. When I say grilled, it's beautifully grilled to crisp up the skin on the outside, and it adds a wonderful contrast to this. It's almost like 2 different cooking temperatures. It's poached first, it's nice and soft, it's subtle, the fat is rendered throughout, then of course it's left to cool down, it's taken off the bone, and then beautifully crispened on top of this grill. And you've got this wonderful effect, and the fat is so delicious. The fat has rendered throughout, and it's just pure crispy skin. So start off by seasoning the pigeon nicely, and I'm seasoning it heavily on purpose because of course we're poaching this, so 95% of this seasoning will disintegrate, but I really want to season the skin properly because that's what's going to become nice and crispy. You're going to absorb all that moisture underneath the skin, therefore when it's on top of the griddle it's going to get nice and crispy. Into the stock, submerge it completely in, 5.5 minutes to 6 minutes, depending. When I say 6 minutes, don't take that as a flat 6 minutes, have the intelligence to check it yourself, take it out and just touch those breasts, and we don't want it raw, we don't want it overcooked, just subtly pink, because we're going to finish it of course on the grill. That's about ready now. So out, onto a paper, just leave it to cool down now, about 3 or 4 minutes. Then we're going to take it off the bone, finish the garnish, and the garnish, because it's such a wonderful, rich dish, we've cut it with some beautiful sweet puree, braised salsify, braised shallots, and some little sautéed mushrooms around the outside. See, that's still nice and pink. We don't want it cooked all the way, of course, because we want to finish it on the grill. Leave it to rest for 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll remove it from the bone. Once the pigeon has rested, then of course, we never cut it when it's incredibly hot because we're going to lose all those juices from there. Let it rest, let it absorb, let it cool down, and then very, very carefully just feel for the center breastbone again, into the center, around, nick through the wishbone again, and just very, very carefully slice off the breast. As you can still see, it's incredibly pink. It's still very undercooked there, but you can see this beautiful cuisson around the outside, and the whole thing feels a lot softer. Again, very carefully,
knife along the side of the carcass, down through around the wishbone. We spoke about it previously, that I don't like taking out the wishbones and ripping the flesh. Very, very gently. Through, and then again, peel back the fillet and just slice away with a very sharp knife, hold back the fillet and just remove that breast very, very carefully from the carcass. Just trim up the breast like so. Remove these little bits of sinew on the outside. And the interesting thing, the skin has a very bland look about it now, but it's a very strange texture because we render that fat underneath the skin. It's just left a very subtle flavour, and now the important part, of course, is to crisp it on top of that grill. Just trim like so. Okay. Okay. The pigeon has now rested. It's not completely cool. We don't want to cool it all the way down to refrigeration temperature. We just leave it into room temperature. Again, heavy on the seasoning because we want that skin to get really nice and crispy. And don't worry about making this thing salty because you won't make it salty. Because don't forget, 70% of the seasoning is always lost in the cooking process. Turn it over. Again, nicely seasoned. Pepper. Pepper on both sides. And then we're going to place that onto the grill. For the grill, line the grill with the olive oil. Careful not to get it too hot. Nice and smoking like so. And then onto the grill. Very quickly, skin side down first, just get really nice crispy texture. Turn it over again and just lightly baste the pigeon breast with olive oil, and then again turn back over. The reason why we start it skin side down is because we've got to glaze the skin 2 or 3 times just to make sure it's really nice and crispy. And we always want to protect that skin, so by protecting it we have to keep on moisturising it with the oil. Don't be scared, at the bottom here, a little tray to baste your clean olive oil over the pigeon. Again, turn it round and baste. In the centre of the grill is incredibly hot. As you can see, that skin is incredibly crispy. Don't be scared once you've got the crispness of the skin. You want to bring the cooking process slightly slower. Just bring the pigeon down towards the end of this grill, the coolest part, and then just continue basting over. Of course, we're not burning the oil, and that's why we can continue to glaze. And then again, turn round. And the wonderful flavours of caramelising this pigeon, something so delicate, something so dainty, something incredibly flavoursome, to have such a robust grilled texture is delicious. Something we normally associate grilled with scallops or some form of barbecuing, but this on the pigeon is absolutely delicious. As you can see, it's starting to firm up. It's still nice and pink. And then we're just going to leave on the side there and glaze. And when we finish glazing them, re-season it again for the third and final time. Very, very pink. The nice thing about this particular dish, it doesn't take long to cook because we've cooked it in 2 stages, poaching and now grilling. So don't think it's got to sit there for 7-8 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes maximum and off. Okay, it's now nice and crisp, it's very, very pink and it's ready to serve. The garnish for the pigeon is something we very, very rarely use in this country. It's Swede puree. And one of my favourite purees, it's just been cooked in butter, sweated down about 15 minutes and then pureed. Very, very fine in a robo coupe or some form of blender. Puree, absolutely delicious. Wonderful. Around the outside, we're going to have some shallots and garlic, which have been just roasted in the juices. The exciting thing about this dish is that it's currently on the menu, and it's become such a hallmark and such a popular dish that people are intrigued behind the sort of poached and the grilled status, that it adds so much flavour. And there's two different styles of cooking. Some root vegetables, braised salsify, and the nice thing about the richness of the pigeon, it's cut with this really nice, delicate puree, which is just so delicious to, paste on top of the pigeon. Some beautiful little wild mushrooms around the outside. Give some flavour of the earth, just scattered around very loosely. And against the grain, I don't really normally cut the pigeon, but serving it like this today, I'm just going to slice the pigeon in half. The skin is incredibly crispy, you can almost hear it crackling against, and just look at that, incredibly pink, beautifully crisp on the outside. And then second breast, very succulent, very pink. Place that very loosely and put it on top of your sweet puree. Very simple pigeon sauce, very light. Don't glaze the top of the pigeon, don't waste that beautiful crispiness. Just glaze around the bottom of it and keep that wonderful skin incredibly crispy. And here we have our pigeon, which has been poached and grilled, served on a wonderful bed of fine sweet puree garnished with braised vegetables.
This is one of my first dishes that I created for the menu. This is a coffee panna cotta served with a caramel sauce, vanilla tuile, and a small quenelle of vanilla chantilly with chocolate shavings.
Vanilla, fresh vanilla in the tuile?
Yeah, there's fresh vanilla in the tuile. It's a normal basic tuile recipe.
Smells lovely.
And just underneath, take off the mint, a little garnish. Underneath the chocolate there, you've got the creme chantilly. And underneath you've got the vanilla panna cotta, which is very, very light, very, very soft. I spent quite a lot of time trying to work out the recipe, which was originally a vanilla panna cotta, and then just adding coffee essence, rum, and removing the vanilla.
Very nice.
Very soft, very light.
Very delicious. And there's very, very little gelatine in there.
There's very little indeed. It's just, I find that it's more the flavour that takes over
very
for
nice.
me.
Very, very nice.
And
Do you reduce the milk down?
The lightness. No, I think it's for me, it's the quantity of cream and milk that create the lightness.
Very, very nice.
In the dish itself. The stages of making vanilla panna cotta are very, very simple. You've got your sugar, your essence of coffee, your milk, cream, and vanilla essence if you wish to add that to it as well. And that's basically it really. Boiling all the ingredients together to dissolve the sugar, adding that to your gelatine to set it, and then just slowly cooling it down over a small bowl of ice, and bringing it down to the temperature before you put it into its moulds. The reason for doing that is so that if you do have vanilla seeds inside the panna cotta, bringing it to a very thick consistency when you pour it into your mould will prevent the seeds from falling down to the base of the panna cotta.
So when you cut through, you've got all these nice vanilla seeds running through?
All the way through. So
very
the
nice.
flavour also is also spread directly through the whole thing rather than just sitting on the surface. This is one of my latest dishes that I've created for my lunch menu, which is a praline bavois sat on a lemon sponge with lemon crisp feathered with melted chocolate,
Very nice.
and an orange choubise cream with a lemon sauce. Want to taste?
I'd love to taste it. It looks too good to taste, but so this is caramelised phyllo paste.
This is a phyllo pastry which we brush with a lemon butter and sugar. We just nicely caramelise it, not too dark so it doesn't taste too burnt.
No, it's not too
Slightly
sweet either.
feather it with chocolate. Very light lemon cream, praline bavois, classic bavois recipe.
Very
Just
nice.
adapted to be a little bit lighter. Either remove a little bit of gelatine.
The passion fruit goes nice on top of the passion fruit recipes. And at the bottom there's a lemon sponge. It's very
Lemon
fragrant.
sponge.
Very fragrant.
In fact, the lemon sponge is Angela's mum's recipe.
Really?
It is, yeah. She makes a lemon sponge cake with poppy seeds.
Serious.
We just remove the poppy seeds.
That is lovely. Nice and light. Wonderful texture. Very creamy and very Moorish. You'll start it. You don't want to stop doing.
I find that the cream on the top and the acidity of the sauce just cuts through the, I suppose the, not sickliness, but you do find sometimes with mousses and bavoirs, heaviness and sickliness of them. It just cuts that through, and so you don't feel so sickly, basically.
That's very nice. And is that turned out of a mould, or is that?
Yep, it's in a cutter. We bake a large tray of lemon sponge, and we put our cutters on top, or our moulds, cut them through, and we leave the sponge to cool in the mould, and then we leave that for a day. We lightly soak it with a little lemon sort of alcohol that we use, and then the next day we make the bavois. We'll make it fresh every day, and if it's not used on the day, we throw it away because the sponge goes incredibly soft and the bavois goes hard, quite firm.
That's very nice.
When it's in the fridge, I think it's important to serve it fresh.
Nice and light.
Very important.
And of course, you've only got 1 day's usage of the sponge.
Exactly that, and it's there.
Delicious.
Excellent.
This is my favourite. Not my dish, but this is the dog's ghoulies.
I think this is, for me this is a very English dessert. And cheesecake, I think, is all any British lad's favourite, or anybody that's brought up in England. There's always had a cheesecake somewhere in the house somewhere.
Definitely.
During their childhood. I've just adapted it by making it a touch lighter, adding a beautiful rhubarb sorbet, rhubarb crisp, and a biscuit base that we normally make if you've ever made it at school or at college. You always used a digestive biscuit. With this particular recipe, I've used the
very nice
hobnobs. Those are the ones. Hobnobs for this one because of the sweetness in them and because they're much crunchier.
And this is beautiful. This is a little rhubarb compote.
That's right, with
fresh vanilla,
sautéed in butter, sugar, and fresh vanilla pod.
Very nice.
Nicely cooked with it. Served warm.
Can I start, please?
Go ahead.
You've
had this one before, haven't you?
No, this is the first time I had it on the menu when I came for dinner. I thought it was delicious. Very, very nice. My favourite. Light. Served with the contrast of the beautiful compote of rhubarb, which has been, like Marcus said, sautéed in butter, some vanilla, beautifully seasoned. Warm rhubarb, a nice thick, rich, creamy cheesecake texture. The classic hobnob base, which is to die for. And of course this very refreshing sorbet on top, just wonderfully. Delicious. That must be very popular.
This is the best selling dessert in the house.
Serious.
So far. And it's not on the menu.
As you just put it as a special.
Specials all the time, and it's
very nice.